So guys, it's your boy, this is back with another video by Higurashi GOU. This is episode 3. This episode, now I was kind of concerned about this episode. And the fact that we're moving like slow but fast. We're not covering as much stuff as we should. And we're covering more stuff as we should. But episode 3 blew my expectations out of the water. Because in this episode, we finally get there's some stuff changed. Now, in the original, in all versions, Keiichi does talk to Tomitake and Takano. But in this version, he just walks away. And of course you see Rena in the background. I'll get to her later on in the review. Now, everything is somewhat beat by beat with the Onikushi arc, but it's not. There's some slight changes with the arc if you're ignoring all of the Rika stuff with the fragments. Then this is like a actual somewhat retelling of the original series. Now people worried that this might be a 4 episodes. I'm hoping it's 5, but if it's 4, I'm grateful. But I will compliment the animators at Passion or Passion, whatever they're called, about the animation with the Rika whole, with Rika doing that dance. I forgot to say last episode or last week's review about the animation. The animation for Rika's dance is fantastic. The guy on the drums is fantastic, and I'm glad that they used the original, the song from the trailer for this. It's great. I'm looking forward to some new OSTs from Kenji Kawai. I believe there's been 1 or 2 in the last 3 episodes. But most have been like usual ones from the original series. But with this episode, it skips some stuff, and some stuff don't unfold like they used to, which is weird. Even though this is a new arc, it's still the same plot points that the older arc had. I'm still wondering how it's going to be more different than the original series. Now we'll have to Rika fucking fragment shit. Now, this is why I like. Okay, so direction in this episode was great. In the manga, you have when Keiichi in which she was talking. Oishi was sitting in the front, and so was Keiichi. In the anime, in both the animes, Keiichi is in the back. And Oishi isn't really looking at him in the Deem adaptation of it. He's looking more towards the right, smoking a cigarette. And this version, he's sitting there and he's eyeballing at Keiichi from the mirror, looking at him for his reaction. And I love that. I love that attention to detail. But it's more than just, oh, I'm talking about stuff, and you're like, oh, like, I love 3 episodes in, and we're still getting more, facial reactions. It's not Keiichi making noises or be like, oh, Masaka, and all that stuff. It's him reacting to stuff with his facial expressions. And Oishi being the guy he is, if you're a fan of the series, you know how Oishi is. And he's looking for that as well. Now, I also like the inclusion of having him and Keiichi right up a little bit, so they won't be seen. In the Dean They're just right out, they're right outside the fucking school. Like I'm right outside my fucking house. Like with this animation, with this adaptation, it's different. Oishi drives Kakashi up a little bit more, so no one will interfere. And when he drives off a little bit with Keiichi, and then he leaves. Because from behind Keiichi, you don't see nobody but a road, which is great direction and a great choice for when Rena knows about what was happening with Keiichi. It makes it more creepier because Rena could have just walked to the bathroom and saw Keiichi talking to Oishi in the original from a window. In this adaptation, he drove off a little bit. Well, even though he was in the same spot for the beginning, he drove off with Keiichi and he rode away. Now for Rena, like I'm loving the reactions of faces. Cause when Keiichi walks in after talk to Oishi, you can see Mion, Satoko, and Rika's face. But if you pay attention to Rena, her face is down and it's dark. And I love that. Putting more suspicion on Rena, and I love that. And it's also weird that we're fast forwarding some stuff. Keiichi is he getting sick? So I'm guessing we won't see Irie. But we get this occlusion of Keiichi going to agent work for the first time. And even though it's just info that's about what we heard before about the curse of Higurashi-sama, everybody dies. Well, everybody dies every year on the festival with someone dying, someone disappearing. And we get our first look at Sasuke. Real great, nice. But we also get to see Keishi's fucking dad. We saw his mom in episode 1, but we see his dad fully. And I'm too used to his manga face. He has this fucking little squiggle, well, with his fucking bang that just fucking looms out like that, and he wears like a hat, well, an artist hat, and he wears like these nice clothes, and then you watch this of him, and you're like, oh, he's just a way older fucking main character Keiichi. So, I mean, we get to see best teacher Chie, and we get to see Keishi's parents, which is, I never asked for it, but okay, that's good, that's great. But with this final few scenes of the episode, Tomitake and Takano are missing. Now that's one of the details that it shocks me, because you're chasing up the road of Hinamizawa. Spoiler alert. You're chasing up the road now? Because in the original, Tomitake's dead. And Takano disappeared. Now both of them are gone? Okay. Takano's car is there, and so is Tomitake's bike. Rena has a new disease. which I gotta search up and see what it actually is. Cause that's really interesting. Give her like a diagnosed illness. Because in the original, well, I don't think in all of the adaptations, we never gave Rena a diagnosed illness. So that's also a thing right there. Rena, okay, so your lying scene, it surpassed my expectations of what was gonna happen. And okay, so Rena wasn't supposed to say more than what she said. She was only supposed to say like, "Oh yeah, you were with Oishi yesterday at school. Yeah, you were talking to Oishi." Not everything else that she said. And I love that I go on Twitter before watching the episode, so I'm not fully blind when I go in. But there's a Twitter post that said Rena's speech that she did in this episode was a Tome arc stuff. So either like I said before, she is remembering stuff for other timelines, or she already killed Teppei and Rena in this universe, which is weird. Like really weird. So my assumption is she is just remembering stuff. If they come out and say, "Oh yeah, she also killed Teppei and Rena," then okay, it happened. But okay, but it would make sense for her to know how to fraggle a body in episode 2 if she already killed Teppei and Rena. I don't know, but it has stuff about that. And I'm sitting here, and it got like, I'm not really a fan of visual novels. I will probably get into reading Higurashi one day, but my only exposure to Higurashi was the anime, manga, and some of the gameplay of the visual novel. But hearing this, like hearing her say you're lying and then ease up on Casey like that with that smooth animation, and then her smile, and then her this fucking eyes, jeez, like this is the best adaptation of that scene in it, anime form. Like, good lord, like that a shiver down my fucking spine. Along with that, we also get, like I said before, the Rena scene with Casey learning about Rena. Now, this scene, when I first read this in the manga, and I was in middle school, mind you, I was in middle school. I got past fucking Itomi death, read past the You're Lying scene, which fucked me up. I don't remember which one I started first. I think it was the manga and then the anime. So I only had like 2 volumes at that point. So I watched the anime after that on YouTube when it was on YouTube. And then I bought the original Gideon with DVD. But this scene, let me tell you the amount of paranoia that I had reading that in my room with the lights on, and I'm the only one in the room. I'm turning back and forth. I'm looking around. I'm looking outside for fucking Rena, That terrified me. That that scene of Casey figuring out, hey, Rena was in my fucking room. She knows what I was talking about to Oishi. She knows. She heard everything. And just the fact that like she already did one outburst from before, her little fucking cat eyes, it terrified me to no end. That this shook me to my core. I was so scared. Okay. But that's his neighbors. But this scene in the anime didn't scare me as much because I expected it. It wasn't really like it was in the manga. This version of it shook me to my core. It was. It's just. It's just how it's shot. How it's shot scared me. Well, I watched it an hour ago, and I'm still kind of like feeling it. This scene, and I know, I'm stalling for time, but this scene, I tell you what, scared me. Even though I read the manga, I watched the anime. I know, I know about it in the visual novel. I read that part in the visual novel. I saw that part in the visual novel. I saw it in Ray. I've seen other stuff, but this scene in this anime gave me with the same sense of paranoia that I had when I was a kid reading Higurashi. When he's realizing that Rena was in his house listening to him, and it shows her walking up the steps, and it shows Casey's reaction, and he shuts the door, and it keeps going with him imagining what happened, and then it pans, and then it pans with Casey on the phone. Another great, another great thing with the direction is he was on the phone, and it panned from behind him in that crack, and then it panned to the window with the crack. I love the directing in this series. It's still running, but I love the direction when it showed her in the manga. It was just like she's right there, standing there. In the anime, I forgot exactly how it went. But like when I remember some of what happened in the annotation, but it ended with her outside with the cat eyes, looking at him, looking at his window. And I guess that's a little. It's it's too cheesy because he can't really see it. So it's only like it's only for us as the viewer to be like, oh shit, she's outside. She heard everything. But the way it was shot in a new one, where it's like it's cracking the door, and then like you can see her face and her eyes, and it's like way far away. That shook me, like that creeped me out, like that. Generally, it creeped me out. Like just that shot alone, it creeped me out. And then you zoom in on her fucking eye, and then it ends there. Like this, and it's also Passion's longest work. and hopefully it will be their best work. Rocky Show 7 has also wrote the script for this more than 2 years ago. So it was 3 years ago. Back when, I think before the last period Higurashi crossover episode. So he was writing this then. And already turned it in. And working on this anime since then. And he has everything planned out to the final episode. What a great time to be a Higurashi or even a When They Cry fan. What a great time. Jesus, this episode was great. More mystery. If you're a old fan of the series, you'll know that there's some stuff that's happening that's real different. Real different. Now, spoiler alert for the rest of the video. I will go over my theory about what's happening. Now, I think that the anime isn't really a Takano. Because when Rika said, "Oh yeah, I know who the enemy is. I know who killed Rika," I think that's my interpretation of it is like, okay, she knows that Takano kills her, so it can't be. So it can't be. It can't be a Takano again. It has to be someone else in the world of Higurashi that kills her. Now, I'm at a loss for who kills her, but we know that it was Takano who killed her in the original, or Shion, either one of them. Now, I think that the character in the opening is adult or teen Satsuko. Now, I think that I don't want to say too much. I really don't have like a solid theory on everything. It's just, I'm grasping at straws and throwing stuff out there, but not a lot of evidence. But I think that the rules for the Higurashi world has changed. I think because of a certain character in the opening, things have changed. That's why Tomitake and Takano are gone, disappeared, and the cars are still there, which is a whole other mystery. That's a whole other mystery right there. We're gonna know stuff that she shouldn't know. We're gonna say stuff from another arc in general. Has she killed Teppei and Rena, or is she just remembering stuff like Keiichi was doing, like more often? I think that's what's happening, but hopefully we'll get an answer to that. Hopefully. I'm also interested with knowing how they will end this arc, because it starts the same in all versions, but this one is different. This one is different because of the fact that he already saw what was going to happen. And there's some points that happened in the original arc that led him to that decision. Now, I think that the arc will wrap up next episode or next week. Just because how we're going at this pace, I think that it'll be slam packed next episode, or it might continue into episode 5, which would be great. Look, I'm out of theories. Like, this is episode 3, and my theories aren't really like clicking. I don't know what to do. But this has been your boy Dan Sip out here. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. If you have a theory down below of Higurashi, GOU, or your theories about what's happening in the series right now, even though we're on episode 3, please tell me down below. And if you want to subscribe, you can subscribe. I will be doing some Higurashi videos pretty soon on Saturday when we get episode 3 of Higurashi. So yeah, it's me, your boy. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good end of where I live. And yeah, Higurashi Thursdays, fantastic. I'm so glad that it feels good to have a series that I love come back as a seasonal thing that I can watch every single week. Even though I suffer every single week for the next episode, I love Higurashi Twitter as well. But it's me, your boy. Bye.